Welcome everybody to Yoga. We're going to start today's class as we always do in a mindfulness moment. So go ahead and find a comfortable seated position. Bring your eyes to close, roll your shoulders up into your ears, and then exhale them down your back a couple of times. Nice big circles, taking an inhale on the way up and an exhale on the way out. If you'd like to switch directions, feel free to do so. Just get a little bit of looseness in your body. And then end with one more roll back. Settling the shoulders down your back, lifting through the crown of your head, allowing your hands to rest on your upper thighs. You can rub your hands up and down your thighs, palms facing down. This is just to get a sense of sensory happening in the body. Connecting with that sense of touch and feeling. Take a deep breath in. Utilize your sense of smell, feeling, breath, movement, sensory, all grounding you in this present moment. And we're going to try to keep that presence throughout practice. Settle your hands, and then take on this next breath one hand to the heart and the other to the belly. Bow your chin gently down into your chest as you take long, slow, deep breaths in through your nose and out through your nose. With every exhale, try to slow your heart rate down just a little bit. Everything we do today is in service of nervous system regulation, releasing pent-up emotion and tension from the body as we flow, helping you ground yourself in the present experience, in a space where both areas of your brain, your primal survival brain, and your more evolved logical brain work together. If we can regulate what's happening on this biological level, we can practice what that state feels like in the body and bring that into the rest of our day. Feel your heartbeat under one hand, your belly move under the other. Inhale in, exhale out. Feel that rest and digest as you exhale, and that lively, vibrating life move through your body as you feel your heartbeat. One moment alone with yourself. I would like for you to set an intention for today's class. If you could regulate better, more aptly, what would be different in your life in terms of your relationships, your productivity, your joy, your safety with yourself and with others? Dedicate your practice to making even a 1% improvement towards that goal. Take your hands and allow them to rest down at your sides before lifting them up over the head, bringing the palms together and exhaling down to heart center. You're going to interlace the fingers and press your palms to the front of the room as you bow your chin to your chest. Separate your shoulder blades. Create space in the upper back. As you inhale, press those interlace hands up towards the sky, keeping the shoulders pressed down. And then release them, keeping the fingertips splayed. Move your hands to 90-degree angles, your arms to 90 degrees. Strength, inhale, lift. Exhale, roll your wrists down to your sides. We're gonna roll up over the knees, opening the eyes. Taking the shoulders to align over the wrists, nice wide fingers, creating a space between the center of your palm and the mat. Go ahead and find some movement in the body, in the back, in the hips, in the neck. Get in touch with what is happening, what needs your attention, where the release needs to be focused. When you're ready, we're going to take a round of cat-cow, pressing our heart to the front of the mat, pulling the belly button to the spine. Take a deep inhale through your nose, and as you exhale, reach your spine up towards the sky. Tuck your tailbone, press your shoulders down, and then as you inhale, scoop through your belly. Lift your heart, lift your tailbone. Exhale one vertebrae at a time. And then inhale, reach your belly down to the mat. Big stretch in your abdominals. 2 more times to the beat of your own breath. Paying attention, again, to where that tension needs to release. The information coming up from your body to your brain. Catalog it. And when you're ready, go ahead and meet in neutral, nice flat back here. We're going to take the knees back behind us, just 6 inches or so, and then lean the hips forward, finding this nice modified plank. Your heart is lifted up. Feel your core engage. And exhale, keeping the elbows tight into your sides. Slowly release the belly all the way down. Release your legs when you get down to the bottom. And then we're going to take the arms out in front of us and then just gently lay one ear over that little makeshift pillow. Take a big deep breath in so that your belly gently presses down into the mat. Exhale, relax. And whenever you feel ready, you're just going to start to roll your hips side to side into the mat. Just rocking only your hips back and forth and focusing all of your attention on the breath. Don't pay attention to the fears, to the judgments that might come up as we move through some of these more non-traditional yogic practices. This is all about releasing your hips, which are absolutely connected to your nervous system responses. We store a lot of tension here. Even with your breath, you are moving energy through your body, helping your digestive system, turning on those functions that tend to turn off when we're stressed, when we're not present. Find stillness in that rocking. Pay attention. What do you feel in your body? What sensations are coming up? I want you to go ahead and bend at the knees to kick your legs up towards the sky, and then you're going to gently allow them to windshield wiper from side to side, leading with your heels. Again, continuing to breathe. You can make those windshield wiper motions really small even. Notice the difference. Make them big, make them small, whatever feels better in your body today. Releasing tension as you continue to bowl your breath deep into your belly. When you're ready, go ahead and gently allow the tops of the feet to fall back down onto the mat. We're going to lift the head up off the hands, taking the forearms down so that the crease of the forearm, that elbow joint, falls right underneath the shoulder in Sphinx. Rock your hips to release your glutes. You should feel a stretch not in your low back, but right above it. Lift through the crown of your head. Release your glutes. Breathe. Slowly release the heart down, sliding the hands back underneath the shoulders. We're going to press all the way up and then go ahead and come down. Just do that a few times, mobilizing those low lumbar discs. If you've ever done physical therapy here at SEL, this might look familiar to you. But we create a little bit of movement in those discs, warm them up a bit, to release the back. And this last one, go ahead and come back down. And if you can follow me, go ahead and press your toes down into the mat. Squeeze your core, squeeze your glutes, lift your legs up off the ground, and then press all the way up into a plank. If not, make your way there, and then press your way into downward facing dog, meeting me when you're ready. Send your breath into your low back once you're here. You can pedal out the feet if that feels good for you, if you have some tightness in the back of the legs. Remembering to continue to send your breath low into your belly, into the side body as we continue to move. We're keeping things really low and slow today. And when you're ready, find stillness in your down dog. Nice wide fingers, heels descend towards your mat with gravity. Breathe. And on your next inhale, go ahead and lift that left toe up towards the sky, single leg dog. Drop the heel towards the opposite glute, opening up your hip. You can do a couple of ankle circles in one direction and then the other. Land in stillness. And then pull that knee forward between the hands to settle down into pigeon. So in pigeon, the knee is right at the center point of where your hands come beneath your shoulders. Unless you have higher flexibility than that, then you can even bring that leg up to 90 degrees. So it would look in its best iteration like this, but I cannot do that. So we're going to stay here. The hips are squared down towards the mat, so we're not rolling open. Keeping that intention focused on the outside of that hip flexor. When you're ready, You can take your forearms down if that's available to you. Always keeping the focus on squaring the hips and allowing the heart to gently fall over the top of that knee. You can do it slow, focusing with breath. Slowly slide the hands back underneath. Your shoulders press the torso up. Take that back toe, press it down into the mat. And in one swift movement, step back into a downward facing dog. Notice the difference between sides. Find a beautiful position in that down dog before we switch. Taking the right toe up towards the sky, single leg dog, and then dropping that heel towards the opposite glute to open the hip up. Little circles, one direction, and then the other. When you're ready, pulling forward into pigeon on the other side. Take time to get into the right alignment, making sure your hips are squared forward. You're not rolling open. Make any adjustments that you need to focus the stretch on the outside of your hip flexor. If and when you're ready, you can start to sink into it a little bit more. Forearms come down, focusing the heart on moving forward, and then allowing it to slowly descend a little bit closer towards that knee. At no point are we rounding in the back. Eyes are closed or gazing forward. And breathe. Whenever you're ready, take your heart lifted up, your hands beneath the shoulders, lift the torso, flip that back toe down into the mat, and in one swift motion, press into it to send the opposing foot back, downward facing dog. Slowly walk your hands back towards your feet at the back of your mat, heel toeing the feet together to touch, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, heart reaches forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, circle sweep, lead with your heart, go slowly, hinging all the way up. Palms come together, exhale them to the heart. Ground into your right foot. Take your left foot, flexing it, lifting up, 90-degree angle. You can go slow, just a tiny bit of balance here. And then we're gonna go ahead and step that foot forward and hinge, pressing the hips towards the back of the room for a little stretch on the back of the leg. If you need extra balance, feel free to adjust your feet a little bit, to take your hand to the top of that thigh. Breathe in. Inhale, we slowly lift the heart. Step back. Feet come together. Find a little bit of a pull and that belly button lifts through the crown of the head. Take your balance into the left leg now as you slowly flex, finding that balance. And then go ahead and set it down, shifting your weight back. Remember, you can get that little extra support. If that feels good for you, stretch the back of your leg, the calf. Continue to breathe. And then lift all the way up through the torso. And step back with intention. We're going to take a nice big step out now. So you can straddle both sides of your mat. And from here, I want you to take the hands and lift them up overhead. And then take the heels in so that your feet come out slightly. Exhale, settle the knees out over the toes and the hands down to the heart. Opening through the inner thighs. Inhale, we press up. Separate the hands. Exhale, 90 degrees. Goddess hands, we call these. Squeeze your glutes. Tuck your core. Inhale, we press up. Exhale, hands come down. Toes go forward. Shoot your hips back. Flat back. And then slowly allow the hands to come underneath of the pelvic floor. Elbows press back to the back of the room, lifting your heart out in front of you. And then coming a little deeper in. Feel your heartbeat. Slow it down with the breath. Slowly take one hand at a time to your hips. And very slowly begin to lift your heart out in front of you, parallel to the ground, and then squeeze your glutes to stand all the way up. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hands to the heart. Step your feet in. Feet together at the back of your mat. Inhale, we lift the hands. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Coming all the way down into a crouch. And then we're going to come onto our backs. Feet flat into the floor, knees up towards the sky. Allow your hands to run down either side, palms facing down into the earth. And you're just going to bring another gentle sway into the knees, almost as if you're trying to create a little stamp with your tailbone on the mat. The knees sway back and forth. Try to make that sway as small as possible. Just a centimeter or two in either direction. And then make it a little bigger. A medium-sized sway. And even a little bigger still. Play around with size. You can draw it in to very small again. Notice the way things change. Then find stillness. Again, make sure your hands are running down along your sides. This time, active arms, pressing your low back down into the mat by tilting your pelvis towards your nose. Press into your legs to lift your glutes up off the mat, your hips towards the sky. Feel your glutes engage and bridge. If you'd like to, you can walk the shoulder blades underneath you, interlacing the hands. Do what feels good for you. Pressing your hips up towards the sky. Feel the squeeze in your glutes. Squeeze as hard as you can, like you're trying to accumulate as much tension as possible. Continue to breathe and squeeze and press for 3, 2, 1. Release the glutes down. Pull your knees into your body. Give your low back a little rock on the mat. In this position, take your hands to the inside arches of your feet and kick them up towards the sky and happy baby. You can stay here for a little while. Maybe you take another rock back and forth in this position. Maybe you just focus on breathing and relaxing. There's no right way. Honor your inner thighs, your outer hips. And continue to honor the rest of your body with your breath. Stay here for as long as you'd like, or you can join me to move into final Shavasana, releasing one at a time, and then allowing the legs to release down so that the heels touch the wide corners of the mat. My arms run along down each side. This is your time to seek stillness, cement that mindful moment by anchoring yourself in the present experience with all 5 senses. Move the distractions away and come back to the intention that you set when we opened class. one last deep inhale in through your nose. And exhale. Surrender. You can begin to awaken your body. Give a little wiggle to your fingers and your toes. And when you're ready, tuck your knees in, roll to one side into the fetal position. And as you feel ready and led, use your top facing hand to press the torso up. Thank you for joining me today. A little bit of a lower and slower flow, but I hope everyone got something from it, something different that maybe they needed today. Follow your intentions. The light in me sees and honors and delight in the light I see in each of you. Have a good rest of your day. Namaste.